What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Good Game Grabs, but more importantly, welcome to another installment of Sunday School. Today, we're going to talk about where we're going to thrift our items from. We know what good sell-through rate is. We know what we're looking for. We know how to look it up. We know how to research. We know all that good stuff. But it doesn't help if we don't know where to go to find these items. So let's go on a journey and talk about all the different places that we can find good stuff to sell for profit on eBay. And Tank loves his bone. So literally my favorite place to tell people to start is in their own homes. My beautiful wife right here, her name is Zesty. She's doing some dishes right now. Hey, do you think we got anything around the house we can sell?
Absolutely not. All of this is mine. Get out of my house.
Okay, you heard the lady. All right, so
Just kidding.
we're going to grab a couple things around the house. We're going to try to find more common household items that you guys may have sitting around, and we're going to look up the sell-through rate together. And we're just gonna see if this would be something good. All right, guys, so we got this old router right here. Let's go ahead and look this up. I know some of you guys like upgrade your network equipment or whatever. You guys probably have a router sitting around that you're not using. So let's go ahead and look this bad boy up. So if we look on the back side of this bad boy, it says Netgear Nighthawk AC 1750 Smart Wi-Fi Router model R6700V2. So let's go ahead and open up our eBay app. Let's hit that sweet search bar and let's put in the Netgear Nighthawk. And look, it's already trying to fill it in for us. So that's a good sign. We know this sells a lot if it's auto-filling. But let's put in AC 1750. And then let's also put in the model number. So AC 1750. And R6. Okay, look, it even comes up right here. So this is the R, well, actually, you know what? We need to actually verify that this is the V2 because there are different versions. So let's go ahead and put in R6700 V2. Okay, so it looks like we can go to condition, we can go to used. There's 46 results. And then we're going to go down to our sold and completed and see that there's 25 used versions of this router sold. So roughly about a 50% sell-through rate. Now, 29 bucks, looking at 25 bucks free. There was $8, kind of stinks. 14 bucks with $7.50 in shipping, which that's about right. We're also going to talk about what you should charge for shipping and all that good stuff later. Don't worry about that. We're just kind of looking at the general price right now. We've got some as high as $25 free, $27.97, $36.94, $29.98. So, given the fact that we got this absolutely for free because it was technically sitting around our house and we were probably going to donate it anyway, right? Now that we have this for absolutely free, we can make around, at the end of the day, after eBay fees and shipping and all that good stuff, probably around 17, 18 bucks just sitting around your house. And it gives you good practice. Next place of sourcing that I cannot recommend enough, and the one that we use all the time, is the Goodwill bins. Now, the Goodwill bins are not the only style of bin store out there. You do have like Amazon return store bins. You have St. Vincent de Paul bins. You have other bigger Goodwill, other Goodwill-like businesses that do have their own bins locations. In St. Louis, we do have St. Vincent de Paul bins, which are actually really cheap. They're just really far away from our house, so we typically don't go there as often. However, I will say that it is super cheap, and the possibility of finding good stuff is just as good as the Goodwill bins. Now, the Goodwill bins is really cool because it is close to my house, which does make it super convenient. I understand that for a lot of people, you don't have a bins near your house, and that does stink. But, however, I know people, other resellers, other content creators / resellers that drive over an hour to get to bins just because there are so many things, so many items at one place that can be sold for a profit. And that's, even if you only sell just clothing or just hard goods or just media, you will find something there at the Goodwill bins that will make you money. The second two we're going to talk about kind of tie in with each other, and those are garage sales and estate sales. Now, remember back when I was talking about time and space in episode 1, that you need the time to wake up and go to these things. Typically, garage sales and estate sales are going to start somewhere around 7 to 8 in the morning, and specifically for estate sales, They usually start on Friday. It's usually a Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of ordeal, especially if they're run by a company that does only estate sales. So with that being said, if you don't have the availability at 7 a.m. on a Friday morning to get to an estate sale, you might want to rethink them as a sourcing place. Now, I will say that garage sales are great for finding gently used clothing, especially gently used electronics as well. You guys can find deals on stuff that's going to be a lot more heavier than you would find at the Goodwill bins, for example. So, you know, a big old stereo receiver that might cost you about $30 from the bins might only cost you 10 or 15 bucks from a garage sale, and that's a great deal. If you go to a garage sale and you're in close quarters and it's kind of quiet and stuff like that, you may feel a little awkward getting on your phone and looking up items. I usually have no problem with this. You know, some people will just ask, you know, hey, like, are you looking up the price on eBay? Have you seen the price on eBay? That's why I priced this so high, stuff like that. I'm just honest with people. I say, hey, look, you know, if you want to sell me this product at this price, I'm going to make a little bit of money on my end, and I'm still going to give you fair shake on your end. We can both make a little bit of money. You can get clutter out of your house. I can make some money on eBay, and I can pay my bills. Also, the cool thing about the internet nowadays is you can find these garage sales and estate sales relatively easily. If you use the old Google machine, you can find garage sales or estate sales near you. Literally type that into Google and you will find various websites that will point you in the right direction. Most of these sites are free, so literally you don't have to pay a subscription fee or anything like that to find these sales. It's just a super easy way rather than just driving aimlessly around town and trying to find these sales, which I've done before if I'm really bored. But, you know, as time went on, I realized how valuable my time is. So you want to be as efficient as possible. And we'll talk more about efficiency in a little bit. Next up is something that has made me a pretty good amount of money, and that is private picks. If you can find somebody that has, you know, an estate of somebody who may have passed away, or they have a huge collection that they're looking to liquidate or anything of that nature, you can find a really good in and make a ton of money. These usually don't come up that very often, so I don't really do many episodes even on the main channel about them, but I will say that, you know, just putting the word out there that you are a reseller and you do deal in the business of, you know, clearing out junk, so to speak, you can let people know that, hey, they got the bug in their ear. They're like, oh, I remember Ray. He said that he does this type of thing. He sells on eBay. He gives a fair price, will pay cash, all that good stuff. And they'll, you know, they might text you, they might call you and be like, yo, what's up? You want to come over and check this stuff out? That will definitely happen. So, you know, be sure to mention it to friends, family, acquaintances, all that good stuff, what you do for a living or even as a side hustle. And hopefully that pays off in the end. You can also, of course, peruse the next thing that I'm about to talk about, and that is Facebook Marketplace or similar marketplaces, Craigslist, etc., etc. Of course, there are going to be people that post up, you know, big collections of stuff. Let's just say, for example, somebody posts up, you know, one singular PlayStation 4 game. I might message them and be like, hey, what's up? I'm interested in your game, but I also want to ask if you have any more video game related things. And they might be like, oh, I have a Nintendo hidden away in my closet. It was my brother's, my uncle's, my whatever, you know, sitting around. Are you interested in that Nintendo? I had no idea it was valuable. And then, you know, you might go there and, you know, see something in their residence or, you know, whatever they might have brought something a little bit more, whatever that may be. Then it turns into a whole private pick. You literally have, you know, unlimited access to whatever they are willing to show you because you're a buyer and you're there and you already have the cash at hand. And of course, I saved probably the worst for last. No, I actually say that in jest only because we don't go to very many of them anymore, but that is regular thrift stores, guys. So regular thrift stores, they have gone up in price. This is no surprise. They are charging some insane prices, even for just common goods such as jeans and stuff like that at regular thrift stores. However, there are still deals to be had. And the best way that I would recommend if you were to be really dead set on only going to regular thrift stores is to make a plan of action. Go into the old Google machine, type in Google Maps and plan out a route. So what I do in my town is, considering that it is pretty big, I will plan out a southern section, a western section, and a northern section. Can't go to the east because there's a river there. So I will make a little Google map route between all of the stores and basically try to either make a straight line or I will try to make a circle, either one that works. But you want to use your time efficiently, especially if you live in a bigger city, which has a bunch of thrift stores spaced out. Now, if you're lucky to be in a city that has a enormous amount of thrift stores in it, congratulations, because this just does not happen very often. I know places like Phoenix, for example, have a ton of thrift stores, like per capita basically. They're just everywhere and there's always good deals to be found. But since I live in a city that doesn't have a lot of thrift stores, the competition is really fierce and I generally just steer away because I want to keep my cost of goods low, because I want to sell items even at a $5 to $6 profit mark. I'd rather just pay, 50 cents or $1 for those items versus, $3 to $4. And, then I might have to wait longer. It's a whole thing. So I highly recommend, if you want to just get your feet wet, you can definitely go to a couple thrift stores and just kind of feel out, look at some items, see how much they're charging generally for those items. Get to know your thrift store workers if you have that sort of gumption about you, if you have that as part of your personality, if you can just talk to strangers in that manner. I can't. It's just a weird thing. I don't know why. I'm on YouTube all the time and I talk to people, I meet random people, fans, viewers, stuff like that. Anyway, make friends with the people that are at your thrift store. You can ask them when they put out certain things that intrigue you, like, oh, when do you guys restock books? When do you restock shoes? Etc., etc. Having an in there can definitely help you out if you only have thrift stores at your resource. Now, don't think that you have to pigeonhole yourself into any of those methods of sourcing. I will say that we do probably 90% of our sourcing at the Goodwill bins because it is so readily available. And we also like to shop every department in the bins that they have. There was a time where I would not source clothing, but now that we are up to a listing goal of 10 to 15 a day, I need clothing to supplement that goal. So I go to the Goodwill bins. I take advantage of everything there. I go to each and every section. I try to find profit in every one of them, and it works out for us. Now, I will say if you live in a decent sized city, you can take advantage of every single source that I list. However, I understand that if you do live in like a rural area, you only have so many thrift stores available to you. You don't have a Goodwill bins that is close. You need to make sure that you have the time to get up, like I said, in the morning, get to those garage sales first, get to those estate sales, hit them up, look for those private picks, ask around, ask people, do you guys know anybody that has a private collection, has antiques, has just old stuff, collects old stuff, whatever that may be? That way you can kind of network to these private picks, get a little in, make sure you're paying fair prices for these things so you build a good rapport with those people who collect. Maybe you find somebody that cleans out storage lockers and they don't like clothing, but they collect everything else. Those people that clean out those storage lockers, they're not going to want that clothing. You can just go, hey, you know what? I'll pay you $2 a pound for all your clothing. Bam, you got source clothing right there all day, every day, because they're going to clean out lockers still, and they're going to want to sell you all that clothing from then on. If you build that relationship, you're just going to have that plug for that entire time. So now that you guys have your ability to look up an item to see if it is worthy enough to sell on eBay, and you know all the different places that you can possibly go source, you are ready to go out there and get those first items. Then we're going to bring them back, and we're going to tell you how to list those items on eBay. Yes, I know it's scary, but we're going to walk you through step by step on how to get these items. What I'm going to do personally is I'm going to go out to some of these places to source stuff in real time, and you guys will see the process from A to Z. So that way you guys will have full confidence going into the world of thrifting and reselling and all that good stuff. And we'll do it together. I promise you guys. Alrighty. Hit that sub button if you haven't hit that sub button. Hit that like button if you like the video. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next installment of Sunday School. Can't wait to see you guys there. Again, leave me a comment if you have any questions. Hit that Discord link down below. It's absolutely free if you guys would like to talk to myself or other resellers in general. And we'll see you later on the next installment of Sunday School, guys. Bye.